This is Commands 6, pronoun placement. Now, up until now, we've been talking about just commands. How do you tell your friend eat? How do you tell your friend sleep? How do you tell your friend help? Okay, but now we're dealing with commands coupled with pronouns. Now, I know some of you are frightened or intimidated by grammatical words like pronouns. Pronouns, here's a little list. Like me, to me, you, to you, us, to him, to her. There are reflexive pronouns, me, te, se, nos. There are indirect object pronouns, le or lace, and there are direct object pronouns, lo, la, los, and las. But all I want you to realize is I'll call these little words. Where do little words like me and te and le and lo go when you're speaking Spanish? That's a very reasonable question, okay? And hopefully in 3 minutes you'll understand how to answer that question. Pronouns, words like me, te, le, nos, los, las, generally go in front of the verb. They go in front and they're separate. Let me give you some examples. Me gusta, it is pleasing to me. Te gusta, it's pleasing to you. Se llaman, they call themselves. Lo siento, I'm sorry, or literally, it I feel. And la veo, I see her or I see it. Notice the me, the te, the se, the lo, and the la go in front, okay? But, and there's always a but, there's a little bit more to this. There are actually some pronouns that go in front of verbs and some pronouns that go after verbs and that are attached. So the way I thought of it in Spanish 3 was this. In front and separate, or after and attached. In front and separate, or after and attached. Now we just looked at it in front and separate. Me gusta, se llama, le gusta. Check this out. There are 2 times when the pronoun goes after the verb and is attached. Okay? I call these magnets. Now I'll just tell you, no one else on the planet, to my knowledge, calls them magnets, but that's how I remembered it. Let's look at the first time. After an infinitive, after a verb that ends in AR, ER, IR, the pronoun goes after and is attached. Vamos a hablarle. We're going to talk to him. Notice this is an AR, it's an infinitive, so the pronoun goes after and attached. Voy a comerlo. I'm going to eat it. Notice comer ends with ER, so the lo goes after and is attached. Él tiene que vestirse. Él tiene que vestir is he has to dress someone else. Tiene que vestirse goes after and is attached. So if you have the letters AR, ER, IR, the mays and tays and lays go after and attached. Now how are we going to remember that? Well, everybody say magnet. Magnet. If you have a very powerful magnet and you set it in the middle of the floor, all the little pieces of metal, car keys, paper clips, or little scraps of metal will immediately be drawn to the magnet and boom, they physically connect. So think of AR as a magnet. Boom, the lay was drawn to it and it connected. ER is a magnet. Pulled the low over. IR is a magnet. So everybody say me gusta. Me gusta. Gusta ends with A. There's no AR, ER, IR, so it's me gusta. But if you can physically circle the letters AR, ER, IR, the mays and tays and lays and lows go after and attached. Remember that chant? Where do the pronouns go? In front and separate, or after and attached. In front and separate, or after and attached. Now let's look at the second time. The mays and tays and lays, the pronouns go after and are attached. After an affirmative command, the mays and tays and lays go after. Háblame, talk to me. It's an affirmative command, so literally talk to me. Eat it, it's an affirmative command. Cómelo. Dress yourself. Vístete. Now, if you just say a statement to your friend, and you say, you get dressed, that's a statement. You talk to her, that's a statement. But if you order your friend, talk to her, the mays and tays and lays go after. So again, pronouns are little words like me, te, le. There are reflexive pronouns, me, te, nos, and say. There are indirect object pronouns, le and les, and there are direct object pronouns, lo, la, los, las. Don't worry about the words. Just realize most of the time they go in front. Me gusta, te gusta, le gusta. They only go after the verb if you can physically circle a magnet, an AR, ER, IR, or if it's an affirmative command. Okay? Hard concept, hard clip. You might want to watch this again. This is the end of pronouns, pronoun placement, commands 6.